Yo, what is good? Yo, I'm back here with another banger. Today, I got a Last of Us Part 2 full game and storyline review because I just played Last of Us 2 for the first time and finally finished and completed the game. So I did want to talk about it. If y'all want to see in the future me gameplay of me playing these story mode games, because gaming's kind of dry right now. I play a little bit COD here and there, some Madden. Like I have videos up. I still have a bunch of videos in the vault that I'm still gonna get to posting of gameplay for a lot of games. But I've been playing some story mode games lately, and this being one of them. Next, I'm gonna go to Uncharted 4. If y'all know me, I've said many times I just collect video games and I vault them and don't play them for however long, and then whenever I feel like playing them, I play them. So I still haven't played Uncharted 4. I still have The Witcher 3 I haven't played. So there's a lot of games. God of War or Ragnarok I have it, still haven't played it. So I'm definitely gonna get to it. So if y'all want gameplay like that, let me know in parts. But I did finish this game, and I did want to talk about it and give you a review about how I felt about it. I know this is a game that a lot of people didn't like for part 2. Not that they didn't like it, but they just thought the storyline was a little messed up, and all that, and it just wasn't as good as the first one. So I'm gonna come on here and talk about it. Y'all also know that I did The Last of Us, the TV show, the review. I reviewed every single episode after each episode of The Last of Us series was absolutely amazing. That was all based on the first game. I know there's gonna be season 2. I'm thinking it's gonna be based on this game. This is why specifically I had to play it before season 2 of Last of Us comes out, whenever it's gonna come out, because I didn't want to get spoiled for the game. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. So, and also I just want to say The Last of Us is probably my favorite story mode game of all time. It was one of my first ever. I played it back on the PS3, and then I played it on the PS5, and then I watched the show, and now I got to this point. So let's go ahead and watch. Let's go ahead and say, I know I'm a couple years late, but let's go ahead and get into this review. So first of all, I really like this game. I thought it was really fun. I would even say, like, maybe the gameplay was, like, actually playing it, like, the fighting and the guns and the infected and the war and people that I had to fight might have been better in the first round, if not equal. Same thing, kind of, same weapons, same all that. Let's go ahead and get into the story. So Joel, obviously, spoiler alert. From here on, there'll be a lot of spoilers, so if you don't want to get spoiled, Joel died. That was insane to me. That was insane. He died very early in the show. And I was mad at Abby for doing that. Obviously, Abby being one of the main characters in this game, who killed Joel. I was furious when that happened. It hurt. I was questioning. I was like, damn, maybe these people are right. All this stuff, da 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 da. It was wild, man. And the way Ellie, reacted to it was insane. So, obviously, after Joel died, it was by a group of, they're called WTF soldiers. It was like their group or whatever. And by the girl named Abby was like the Pacific one. So the outside world viewed Joe as a really bad person, obviously, considering what he did with Ellie, which Ellie knows now, but didn't know at the time. Obviously, at the end of the first game, he saved Ellie's life instead of sacrificing her to save the world, and that's exactly what he did, which was, wild decision, but gotta do what they gotta do, and that's what Joel did. So the way they viewed that, Joel was a killer, honestly, because killed a lot of people. Obviously, that's kind of how they viewed him. So throughout the whole story, basically Ellie, trying to find Abby to kill her, slide for Joel and all that. And throughout that, obviously, it was great gameplay with us having to kill those people, those soldiers, and getting there. Obviously, Last of Us does a great job with their map and the gameplay, going places. They just do such a good job with that. There's the routes to take and all that, and obviously looting throughout the game. I'm a guy where I don't leave any loot behind. I gotta search every single corner, every single spot, every single everything, man. So that was insane. Obviously, we were traveling with the girl who was pregnant, all that. There was also the Jesse guy. Listen, everyone died. Everyone died in this show. Literally, everyone died except for the pregnant girl. She did end up having the baby in the end, obviously. And Tommy somehow survived when Abby killed him. I don't know how, but he somehow survived. But Joel died, the Jesse guy died, all of Abby's friends died. So basically, throughout that whole time, Ellie was trying to find Abby, etc., etc., etc. And then Ellie was never really able to find her. But she was able to find her friends. So that was about halfway through where she found their friends, and we killed Abby's friends, and Abby obviously noticed. And then they switched the gameplay to Abby. I was playing as the person that killed Joel, which at first I was like, damn. Damn, that's not cool. I don't want to play as Abby. I don't want to play the person that killed Joel, which is maybe what people found upsetting. So I kind of understand that. But as getting to play as Abby, we went through her backstory as a kid and how she grew up and what she had to go through, and all her friends and the WTF soldiers. And the WTF soldiers, I mean, they're bad people, but Abby wasn't a bad person in my opinion. Abby kind of grew up me. I like her development. She is Joel's killer, which at the end of the day, I'll get to the ending obviously, and I did want her dead the whole time, but we played half the game as Abby, which was cool. And Abby was a beast. Like, I think she was stronger than Ellie. Like, she was a beast. Like, what she had to go through compared to what Ellie had to go through, like, Abby is, like, crazy. Like, Abby was wild with it. I'm not gonna lie. So, obviously, we get to start to play as Abby, and she has her friend Owen, who, wanted to escape the WTF soldiers. She found his own aquarium, wanted to go, wherever he wanted to go in the end. Obviously, we were there. I forgot what it was called. But like the Paradise Island, I forgot what it was called, but throughout that whole thing, so obviously Ellie killed Owen, Abby's man's, and her friend, and that's where it was kind of but before that happened, so basically, remember how I said Ellie killed Owen, like Abby's friend? So Ellie, that's when the gameplay cut off, and then I got to play as Abby, and we were playing as Abby while Ellie was doing what she did in the first part of the game, which is how I was playing. So I kind of liked how they did that. Like at the end of it, I kind of at first it was a little like weird, but I kind of liked how they did that. It added up perfectly, man. Like, I really like it. And obviously regarding the TV show, I'm guessing the TV show is gonna have to do with that too. And I think I'm gonna like the TV show if they follow the storyline. Like, I don't know I don't think a lot of people, I don't know. Maybe people won't, but we'll see how they do it. But it is gonna be wild when that happens. But going back to Abby, playing as her was insane. They met the scars, like those two people that saved her life, kind of. And those are the enemies. And throughout that gameplay, the gameplay as Abby was what was so fun. Like, as Ellie, it wasn't as fun as Abby. Abby's gameplay was crazy, bro. Obviously, her people invaded the scars, where we were going back because the boy, left to go check on his mom, where and we went through a lot of stuff with the boy who, to try to get medicine for the girl, had the messed up arm, and we brought it back to Owen. It was like, what was happening? And that's what was happening while Ellie was trying to find Abby, which was what they were doing. And by the way, as soon as this is Ellie's last gameplay, is Abby confronting Ellie, like after she found out her friends were killed and about to kill her, and then the gameplay just cut off and it was as Abby. So that's exactly what happened. So throughout that whole thing, playing as Abby was so much fun. We went to that crazy war with all the fire and fighting. That was different. What Abby did for the scars, those two people, showed that she was a good person, and all that, and it was good, So I was happy for that. And then so that, nonetheless, we got to find out who Abby was as a character and her pain, and it was great gameplay throughout then. And now finally towards the end of the game, we finally get back to Abby going back to find out that her friends were killed, right? And then going to where Ellie was, which is where Ellie's gameplay cut off, So finally, we're finally back to that. And then Ellie versus Abby was insane. It was insane. I was tight that they had me as Abby trying to kill Ellie, because I wanted Ellie to win, even though I still like Abby. I like Abby at the end. I did. That's probably an unpopular opinion. I'm sure people didn't really like Abby, but at the end, I liked Abby. She was cool. But obviously, I'm taking Ellie over Abby, and I like Ellie better, right? When that happened and I was as Abby, I thought, well, we were gonna kill Ellie. Luckily, we didn't. It ended as like a draw or whatever, even though they kind of won, but they didn't kill us. They left us alive. And then we got to beat Ellie. Ellie settled down in the house. The girl had her baby. Those were like the only two survived. And then we found out that Tommy survived somehow. And then Ellie was obviously having withdrawals of Joel. Still really sad. Still had to slide for Joel. So she found out where Abby was. And during that time, Abby had actually gotten captured. So this was the final gameplay. Ellie had to go find Abby, who was a prisoner. And then Abby kind of escaped, but she didn't. She got caught, and then she found that this was like the final gameplay. Abby was like hung, and then Ellie saved her, which is great. I thought we were just gonna save her and they weren't gonna fight. And then she was like, Abby was like, I'm not gonna fight you. Ellie was like, you are gonna fight me. And then they ended up fighting. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I was as Ellie this time. I was like, damn, Abby, like we could have both lived, but if I have to kill you, I have to kill you, Abby. And Ellie was about to kill her, drowning her in the crazy fight, obviously. And then a Joel flashback popped up, and in my head, I knew. By the way, I just finished playing this like 30 minutes ago. I knew that we were gonna let her live, and we let her live. So, Last of Us Part 3, where you at? Hey, man, it was a good game, in my opinion. The storyline, It was good in my opinion. It was good. I'm just sad about Joel. That's it. Like Joel should have survived, but he got killed way early. So I mean, you know, there's nothing I can really say about it. Abby and Ellie both alive, man. Will they ever run into each other again? Will we ever get Last of Us Part 3 one day? One day, gotta have one day. I'ma have it one day. But it was a good game and it was really fun to play. Regardless of the storyline, it was a fun gameplay. It might have been better gameplay than the first. It was close, man. The Abby gameplay was fun. Like playing as Abby was crazy. Like what we had to go through, y'all know, like that one war with the WTF versus Scars. Oh my gosh, that was fire, bro. That was so gas, bro. It was a pretty long game. I played, was it long game? The first one, I don't know. The first one I played so long ago. So let me know your thoughts on it. I know I'm a couple years late, so if you are watching this, I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on it. I hope we get a part 3 one day, and make sure to check out the Last of Us TV show reviews I did. I reviewed it by episode. And I guess, like I said, I had to finish it before it comes out because I didn't want to get spoiled, and I finally finished it. So I'll probably play Uncharted 4 next, I'm thinking. So I've heard it's a really good game. The only Uncharted I played was actually 1. So I'm hoping that I don't have to know anything storyline-wise, so let me know about that. But I should start that soon. Let me know if you all want gameplay. I appreciate y'all.